Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Call of the Night episode number 6 reaction. Alright, the previous episode we get to see more of Nazuna's personal life, what she does, just she at the beginning she just plays some video games, sees some like kind of goes around, goes to the bath and all that, and while waiting for Ko to come. And after Ko comes up, Ko also kind of goes and takes a bath and all that happens. They kind of have a conversation and all that, and after everything, Nazuna takes Ko back to her house, and we get to see what her occupation is, something that I've been always curious about, because like she has been living for so many years. At least she has to do something, otherwise where will the money be coming from? So yeah, so basically she is a cuddler, or professional cuddler, that type of a thing, where she helps other people sleep. And there's some other stuff as well. For example, she does some massages and all that and charges accordingly. So she kind of gives Ko a little bit of massage, and kind of shows him different places, where if put proper pressure, it will help other people sleep. Also tells that how she after biting the other person in this place, there's a nerve or something which helps you sleep properly. So that's why after taking blood, you sleep very nicely, and that's probably the reason why a lot of people come to her and to get their sleep and all that. So while all of that was happening, a customer comes, and Nazuna was like, "Oh, Ko, you do it." And so yeah, now Ko is and in the end she also said that, yeah, I can pay you, and also I'll probably give you a little reward. So yeah, so I'm guessing Ko is going to help her out, or act as the person, I don't know what he'll do, but he'll probably help her sleep. But let's see what happens in this episode, how Ko is able to do it. So yeah, let us begin. This is episode number 6. So okay, I'll be putting the subtitles on the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's get started. All right, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. What the hell? That was random. It's like, I'll take you home. What? Oh, it's that girl, the one who came for the massage or whatever. Her voice. I'm so familiar with the voice, I can't remember whose voice this is. She comes up to everyone like this. Who did? Wow. Boy, here we go. And that's what happened. Oh boy. Oh no, what? Yeah. Wait, so she's one of the characters who. One of the supporting characters, I guess. So she'll be in the opening. I don't remember seeing her. Okay, I'll pay attention to the when the characters are introduced here. All right, here we go. Is she here? I don't see her. Where is she? I cannot. There's like, it's not this. No, she's not here. So she's not one of the main casts. Or maybe I'm not able, just not able to recognize them. There were three, like black-haired girls. So maybe she was one of them. I cannot. Anyways, that's what he says at the beginning. Wow. Yeah, she's not happy with this. Obviously, Nazma has a lot more experience. Okay. Yeah. Money. Yep. Yep. We believe you. Oh, he's not paying attention. Yeah, you. Come on. Look at your. Do you have any experience? What now? Yeah. It's so crazy. I also didn't believe he was 14. I thought at least he was 16 or 17. I want. Yeah. I want to become a vampire. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. So she's 24 now. Hmm. Yeah, what's her name? Shirakawa. Okay. Oh boy. The way he says it just so nonchalantly. Yeah. True. Oh my god, she's just kind of similar, you know. Yours, Co's situation and her situation. Like for him, it's the students and the teachers, and for her, it's the colleagues and the bosses. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh no, boss is calling. Great. Like at this time, wow, this is just, oh no. Yeah, it doesn't. Exactly, that's what I said. Like, it's just a different situation, the different people they have to deal with. Hey, yo, what? You do realize there's someone here? This is an awkward situation. Open the window. Yo! Oh, that's the same thing that that she did to Ko. So Nazuna, I think you have to go and save her, otherwise she really won't be able to go back to job anymore. You know. Wait, you can't fly, dude. Unlike Nazuna. Okay, there you go. Wow. Oh boy, that was something. No. Yeah. But at the same time, I can understand what she's saying. But at the same time, like this, how much can she keep this going? It's impossible. Well, yeah, at this point, let her tell her because you know she already saw Nazuna. Yeah, obviously, she just popped out of the. Yeah, exactly. Like that's. Yep, it is. Yeah, and you don't have to worry about food, you know, if you become a vampire. Kind of. Well, yeah. Barefoot in the middle of the street. Yeah, that's true. But oh boy. Whoa. Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you don't understand what yeah. Not that, but yeah. Oh boy. Oh my god, yo, this guy. Well, at least better than so many dense characters, you know? He is dense in a way if you think about it, but at least he's self aware. Yeah. So what? Okay, stuff like that. No, that's not. I don't think so. Yeah. Arcade is good. Hmm. Hmm. Magic. Yeah. Wait. Wow. And at like, how are they gonna get in? Like, isn't there an age restriction? I think there should be here an age restriction. What? So no age restrict. Anyone can go in and go out. What? Oh, you can rent them. Okay. Yeah. Swimming in physical air. Oh my god. Where is she? There she is, I think. Hello? He's like, yeah. I don't think. Yeah. Oh boy. No boy. Hmm. All right. Yeah, like for him, he doesn't like interacting that much with people. 3,000 years old or something. Not 3,000, that's a bit too much, I feel like. 300. Oh boy. She knows what she's doing. Oh boy. We're usually lazy. Yeah? What? Friends? Oh boy. Yo, they just they just stepped back. They're like, what? Wait, they are they have awfully young faces. But that guy had a little beard and everything. Oh? Yeah, he doesn't like interacting with people that much, you know. Yeah, and he himself cannot make friends. That is also another thing, you know. He he feels like he cannot get into that world. This is not the first time, you know. Wait, is this a school pool or whatever? Yeah. Well, there won't be any people here at least. Damn. Oh boy. Yeah. So, it's not only like I'll talk about this later. Like, my God, like it's not okay. I'll talk about this. Oh, oh yeah, she's invisible to the reflection. I forgot. I was like, why is there no like, and why is the blood suddenly coming out like with no Nazuna? But then I realized it's the reflection surface. Okay, what I was talking about. This is not only a simple fact of Ko being jealous. There's a big factor here that's playing, like which is, as far as I could understand, he is not comfortable with other people. This is a world where he himself isn't able to get in. Nazuna is the only friend he has, kind of. Obviously, like, you know, Akira's there as well, and then the other girl that we had today. But you know, like for him, interacting with people is something that he's not accustomed to. It's a world that he cannot get into. Seeing Nazuna get into that world so easily, and her being his only friend, you know, he himself knows that he won't be able to get into that world. So that is a complicated feeling, you know, like when you suddenly see your one and only friend, you know, getting into a world where you yourself won't be able to get into. It's a complicated feeling, you know, like you, like, you know, that was like the big thing here. I feel like it's not only like, you know, the fact of him being jealous. Obviously that was a little factor as well, but this is a bigger factor here. I feel like that he thought that he cannot get into that world even if he tried. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. All right, good episode. We had this episode broken up into two parts. Okay, the first part was obviously wait, what was her name? Oh, wait a minute. Oh boy, I need to find her name. All right, I was able to find out her name. Kiyosumi Shirakawa. Okay, I'm so curious about the voice actor because her voice actor is so familiar to me. I've heard her voice so many times, but I can't properly remember. All right, so she, which character did she do that I'm feeling so familiar with? Let me see. 2022. Oh, Yusa from Devil is a Part-Timer. I was like, yeah, where have I heard her voice so much? Yeah, Yusa. Okay. And anyone else? A few others like and that I've watched. Shaman King. Yeah. Okay. What else? Vivi. Yeah. What else? Oh, Freya. Freya. Okay, from Danmachi. Ah. Yeah. Freya from Danmachi. Okay, these are the characters. All right, so there you go. So we meet Shirakawa, and excuse me, we get to see her little story, and obviously she's a working adult. She's 24, I think, as far as I could gather from the calculations, and we get to see how like she's coming back from from job and from drinking after parties, stuff like that. And yeah, like there's a lot of whenever you become an adult, you have to do these kind of things, job troubles and all that, urgent calls you get. But at the same time, like obviously, calling you at 2 a.m., that is a little bit, I feel like, yeah. Anyways, she's coming back, and we see her being tired, and she's like, oh, I don't like it. I what should I do, this and that. She's just thinking, I'm tired and all that. And she remembers her past, where she met Nazuna, and she invited her to her place and just gave that massage and all that. And it really took off her tiredness, and she was able to sleep. So that's why she again goes there, and obviously we know what happens. She meets Ko. So she's waiting, and Ko comes in with all the dressed up and everything, and he's like, oh, let me do it, let me do the massage and whatever. And obviously Ko is not accustomed to all of this, but he is trying, and she's not feeling the same way as when Nazuna massaged her. I mean, understandable, this is the first time he's doing it. So and obviously Ko himself is not quite sure how much pressure to give. Like she was like, oh, you can give him more pressure, it's not a problem. And he's just preoccupied with the thing that Nazuna said, like about the reward. And he's like, oh, I am not definitely not doing it for the reward, I'm doing it for the money. And he's trying to make himself convince himself and all and just getting distracted and all that. And she after a moment, she was like, okay, can I ask you how old are you? Now this is a thing which also really confused me when they told her age, his age, to us as audiences. He's 14. I really don't know how he's 14. I really don't understand. 16 I could guess, 17 maybe, 18, 14, that's definitely not a 14-year-old kid. I was a lot shorter and a lot more what can I say, more like a kid. 14-year-olds is still a kid. You've barely gotten into your teenage years. So yeah, I also thought he was 16 or 17 or something. I'm pretty sure she also thought that. She thought that, oh, he's probably 17 or 18. And she was like, oh, how old are you? And he's like, I'm 14. And she just she's just like, what? She's like, what are you doing here? You're 14 years old, and in the middle of the night, you're giving massages to others. Is there something is there any problem you have? Any house problems and anything, maybe money problems, some kind of complicated situation. She's thinking about all of that. But obviously that's something that anyone would think. You would see a middle schooler just in the middle of the night giving other people massages. Now she's thinking, oh, maybe he has some complicated reasons and all that. She decides not to ask. And oh no, she kind of asks, sorry, she asks oh, why are you doing this? And he says like, oh, because I want the money, you know, like obviously that's what he's convincing himself, that I want the money, not because of the reward, you know, definitely not the reward. So, and then he brings up the original reason. He talks about how he felt like, you know, like he didn't want to keep going to school, how, like, you know, he felt tired, and that's why one day when he went out at the night, he felt very liberated, he felt very nice, and that's why he decided to continue this, you know, like, and he doesn't want to lose this feeling. So stuff like that he talks about. Now I'm pretty sure she herself also, when he was talking about all of this, she realized that his situation is also very similar to her, and she also recounts her time when she did the same thing, went out in the street, like just like, you know, in the middle of the night, 10 years ago when she was 14. And you know, like it's a very liberating feeling, obviously, like, you know, the things that they say is so true, like, you know, if there is actually, like, you know, like nowadays, like, you know, I feel like even in the night, in the middle of the night, there's a lot of people just going about doing their own stuff, you know, like, and that is even more if you go to one of the main, like, you know, streets, you know, with the, like, you know, maybe the main streets, like it's like full of cars, you know, a lot of cars going in and there, people, like, you know, traveling from one place to another, like, you know, nowadays even, like, you know, shops and everything, a lot of shops are also, like, you know, keep open for 24 hours, even at the middle of the night there's someone there, you know. So it's not like that much nowadays, but that's in the main, like, you know, areas. If, like, you know, in the areas where there's, like, you know, not much people, or there's, like, you know, like maybe in the inner areas, there are places which are like this, where it's like, it's when it becomes night, it's like completely empty, like no one's there, and only the street lights are just there, and that's just it. And I do wonder how it would feel like if you, like, in the middle of the night, if you decide to, you cannot take off your shoes, bare feet, in the middle of the street, just standing there. It definitely must be like a very liberating and a very weird feeling. And that's what Ko is talking about here, and she also is talking about, she says like, yeah, I remember that day, you know, it was such a great feeling. There was no people, like, in the middle of the street, I was just there, looking at the sky. And okay, now it's like a private place for me, like she said. So she introduces herself, Shirakawa-san, and he also introduces himself, Ko Yamori, and he talks about how it got boring when he, like, you know, suddenly a day when he was going to school, he decided that it was not fun anymore. That's why he stopped going to school. And he says like, oh, I was a model student, you know, before this. Now he now asks her like, why are you here? Since you're here in the middle of the night, you must have a problem. And she recounts, like, you know, how she doesn't like, you know, just going out in the middle of the night for drinking, because, you know, office, you know, like you need to be like, you know, like what do you call that, office, what do you call that, I don't know, I forgot the actual term, but, you know, like you have to actually, like, you know, go along with other space, and even if you don't like it, you have to do it, obviously, because if a boss tells you like, oh yeah, let's go out drinking, you know, you will have to go out because it's your boss. Yeah, so there you go, these type of things. And she's like, I don't like this. And it's so, like, you know, that's also another thing, like, you know, like this is one thing that is so weird, that, like, I understand, like, obviously, like, you know, like interaction with your employees, it's needed, but I don't know, like, you know, they should realize that there are people who really doesn't like stuff like this, and at the same time they won't be able to reject your invitation because you're the boss. So, you know, like, just including everyone in your own pace, because you just, like, you know, like it's kind of weird, like people, I'm pretty sure there's people like Shirakawa here in that, like, you know, in that situation, who feel trapped. They don't want to, like, you know, go join the bosses, but at the same time they have to do it. Now this is another thing I feel like, which is just like, I don't know, like there's a lot of things that comes up with this whole situation. Like, there's also a lot of people who does not like interacting with people that much, you know, they just want to be left alone on their own, you know, and they're happy just going back to their home, spending time with their family, maybe playing a little video game, maybe reading a little book, maybe just doing nothing, just laying down in your bed and just having a little rest. Maybe there's a lot of people who likes that. Or maybe just walking on your own, in your own lonesome. Just so a lot of people who like that, who doesn't want to get involved in these type of situations, and whenever the boss is like, oh, let's go out drinking, they don't like that, and they can't reject it, and so they have to do it. So like this thing, it's just, I don't know, like I understand, people who obviously doesn't want to get involved with others. Like, I'm not like that, but I do know what they feel like. I appreciate having friends with me and talking with them, having fun with them. I'm pretty sure everyone does. But at the same time, there's also a little part of everyone that probably wants to be left alone for certain times, and who just enjoys being alone on their own. There's different people, like introverts, they like to be left alone most of the time, and they also appreciate other people, interacting with them. I'm not saying that they always want to be alone. That's a complete lie. I've seen a lot of people just completely label others as introverts and extroverts, and thinking like, oh, introverts, they don't want to interact with people. They just just like to be on their own. They hate it when other people talk with them. No, obviously not. What what type of a misconception is this? Obviously not. People who doesn't like introverts, as they call them, people who doesn't want to interact with much people, it's not that they don't like interacting with people. They just want to be alone most of the time. They appreciate whenever their close friends or anyone like that talks with them. And it's kind of like Komi can't communicate. The whole thing with Komi is not that she doesn't want to interact. She cannot interact, and she she wants to have friends, but at the same time she cannot do that. And she appreciates when their friends talk to them. That's basically it. So this is the thing. So yeah, I think I went on a complete tangent. Never mind. So yeah, what I was talking about. So yeah, these people, they probably wouldn't appreciate these type of things, like going in the middle of the night to just just on a drinking thing, because their boss told them, then they have to do it. So she's one of those characters, Shirakawa. And not only that, that's not the end of it. As we see, when the phone starts ringing, and oh boy, in the middle of the night, it's 2 a.m, sorry, not p.m, it's 2 a.m, and the boss is calling. Yeah, urgent something, it's happening, you need to answer the call, blah blah blah. And 2 a.m. in that time, like what? You were just with her a few moments ago when you were drinking. Now, so when will she sleep? So obviously, these are like stuff that I'm pretty sure a lot of people go through when especially when a company just likes exploiting their employees and all that. That's the thing. And from the looks of it, this is not the first time. This happened multiple times before. From Shirakawa's conversation, we could understand this is not the first time this is happening. Multiple times she was called in the middle of the night, probably when she just went home, just changed, had a little bath and decided to go to sleep. Bam, phone call. Oh, I need to go out now again, and it's 3 a.m. in the morning, but who cares? Nobody cares. So that type of a thing. So yeah, this is not the first time. And yeah, so there you go. Now obviously the phone is ringing. She's like, oh, I need to go take the call and I'll be in trouble. And she's just completely unable to keep her balance, almost falling down. She was crying and everything. And when she goes there and takes up the phone, here Ko realizes that she's me. And that's what I was saying, it's just the situation is different. She doesn't want interacting with the colleagues or the employees or the the boss. She doesn't want or doesn't like doing that, but at the same time, she has to do it. For Ko, however, he didn't like going to school. He stopped going to school. That's what she said. For you it's easy because you're still a middle schooler, but for me it's not that easy. I have to do it. And Ko realizes that, and Ko is like, you know what, I feel like I should not let her go out today. And at least in this stage. So she he just goes in front of the door and is like, oh, like, don't let her go away, like Nazuna-chan. Nazuna-chan pops out of the next room. I'm like, what are you doing? You're letting her know that you're some kind of an otherworldly being. Is that okay? But you know what? Yeah, I guess. Obviously, she was surprised. She's like, what is happening here? But when Ko says like, oh, like the massage is still not over, like, you should not go now, and said something like that, and he says like, Nazuna-chan, don't let her go out. And Nazuna's like, all right, like, and I'll do something. She just goes, grabs her, and just tosses her out the window. And I was like, all right, this is the rite of passage, Same thing happened to Ko, like Nazuna kicked him out into the, like, from the top of a building. Similar thing to that. That's a rite of passage at this point, I feel like. Now, so she's falling, and she's like, oh my god, what's happening? And Ko jumps, and Kuro grabs her, and Nazuna also grabs Ko, and there you go. They come down. Now, obviously, at this point, the secret's out of the bags. Like, yeah, like, she definitely knows that something's up with Nazuna. So, okay. Now, Ko says that if you don't want to do it in your crying, I think you should not do it. Now, here's the whole thing comes up of, yeah, I'm an adult. I have to do it. This is my work. This is my job. For you, it's easy. You're a middle schooler. You don't like going to school, you can probably stop. It's not advisable, obviously, but you can do that. That is an option. But for me, it's not an option. So, and I understand that, but at the same time, I feel like, like, since she's in this stage, I don't think that it's okay to continue like this, like, because it's also like a mental stress for her. She is definitely going to fall sick somewhere down the line like this, like, or something is going to happen in her mental state that, like, that will not be okay. So I understand where she's coming from. She has to, like, do something to earn the money, and it is quite difficult to get a job at the same time. So this is like the only thing that she has. If she loses this, she'll have to go to job hunting. That in itself is another big stress. So I understand where she's coming from. This is the world of adults, and you cannot, this is not like some kind of a middle schooler doesn't want to go to school, that type of a situation. But yeah, obviously, if this is that much hard for her that she's actually bursting out into tears and she doesn't want to go, yeah, I feel like this is not it. She has to think of something very soon, otherwise she won't be able to continue like this. And for situations like this, I feel like what the problem about this situation is? Her normal life is also not something that she looks forward to. This is the thing. If you have something good and something bad both happening to you at the same time, I think you can carry on. Something bad happens for the first half of your day, then you're actually going back to your home where you have a nice family, you have so many people, you just have fun in your home. That's the good part. So the first bad part, you can continue doing it even if you don't like it, looking forward to the rest of the day when you go back home and do something for yourself, you have fun. I don't think she has that life as well. She looks pretty bored to me. But like I said, different people have different ways of actually, getting, entertaining themselves. She also has that, but the goddamn boss calls her in the middle of the night. So yeah, what can you, what can you expect? So there you go. She doesn't have anything to look forward to. That is the problem here. I feel like what she should do, as an adult, I feel like this will be the most easiest thing. Like, first of all, obviously, like, she needs to at least, protest about this a little bit, yeah, like, I'm going back home, you should not, it's not my normal job time. You should not call me now, just whenever the hell you want to, in the middle of the night. I think that should be done at least. I don't know how you can do it, but I think that should be, something should be done at that. I'm pretty sure a lot of other employees are also pissed off at that, so maybe she can talk to them and come to some kind of a solution. I don't know what she can do, but something should be done at this point. Not only that, there's another thing that she, like, like should actually do is like have something in her life which makes her, like, which makes her happy so much that it's able to negate the bad things that happens. Because like she said, she's an adult, she has to do it. There's no getting out of this. So there you go. She has to have something in her life which she loves so much that looking forward to that, she can actually keep going on her, like, like tedious task of, like, every day going to the office and just interacting with people who she doesn't like and all that. I don't know. I think that's a better solution at this point. She doesn't have to leave the job, and at the same time, she could carry on. But yeah, this is harsh, like nothing you can do about it. So having something fun for her, I feel like she needs something like that. But otherwise, yeah, she has to keep doing this. So for example, today here, she came here and she had, like, had a good heart-to-heart talk with others, a lot of other people, Nazuna and Ko. So I feel like she can carry on now. That's why, like she says in the end, like, yeah, I'll go, like, I'll carry on, I'm fine now, don't worry. So okay, now while all of that was happening, Ko also tells her that I want to become a vampire, and he says like, oh, this girl here, Nazuna-chan, she's a vampire. You can probably tell something is up with her. So it's obvious that she's not a human, and yeah, and Go also says the same thing. Like, the boss calling you at this time is even crazier. It's 2 a.m., And not only that, next day you also have to go to the office. It's not that because you're going out today at 2 a.m. to do some job, they'll actually let you, have like a free day tomorrow. Obviously, that's not the case. So there you go. And I doubt she's getting paid here, overtime. I doubt she's getting paid overtime for this situation. I don't think so. So yeah. Now, he says like, I want to become a vampire because of this, like, because if you're not a human, you can probably have a lot of other, like, like you can ignore all of this and all that. And yeah, so basically he's saying he wants to be a vampire so that he can enjoy the night. I envy that. And she starts laughing and she's like, is that the reason why you want to become a vampire? And Go goes in the middle of the street, and he's like, there you go, you can see I can stand here barefoot in the middle of the night in the street. You can't give this up as soon as you get to know it, can't you? And she also goes there barefoot, just stands, and she's like laughing. And they have like a good laugh, and then in the end, and she's like, yeah, but you know what, I can't keep doing this, because I'm an adult. I have to go to work. And she says like, yeah, thanks to you I feel a lot of less pressure. And that's what I said, like, like if your happy times can negate the bad times you have, I think you can carry on. If everything's bad in your life, you'll probably eventually get stressed out, and it'll become like a mental, like, problem, disorder for you in the, like, deep down in the, like, line. And I don't think that's okay. But obviously Go realizes that, yeah, like, she's going away, she's not completely, like, like liberated. Still, there's still something in her that is troubling her. So he says that, okay, if I get to become a vampire, I'll turn you into one too. Now here at this point, I really thought, is he not understanding what he's trying to say? Because if you want to become a vampire, the other person will have to, like, like fall in love with the person, with the vampire. So I was thinking he was being dense here, but turns out he realized what he was actually implying. But anyways, he says that, and he says like, if things really get tough for you, you can quit being a human. So that is one route you can, like, it's like one escape route you have for yourself. And don't worry, I will make you a vampire as soon as I become, if you want to. And here, I don't know, like, obviously the other person will have to start liking the other person to become a vampire. And with a little blush that she had at that moment, I don't know, I feel like she does kind of like him at a little bit. Obviously, like, that's not it, and I'm pretty sure Ko is not becoming a vampire anytime soon. So yeah, now she was kind of smiling. She was like, all right, like, I look forward to that. And she goes on her own, and there you go, like, she at least had, like, her heart is free now. All the stress is a little bit gone, so she can carry on. with the boss's antics. Now Nazuna asks him like, you do understand what you said, didn't you? He was kind of beating around the bush at that moment, not able to tell. But Ko is like, yeah, I have to make him fall for me, won't I? And I love how he just admits that, oh, I'm pretty popular, like it wouldn't be a problem. Which in itself shows how much of a dense character he is in regards to situations of love. How he clear just casually says like, oh, she has just have to like me. I know that I'm quite popular. That in itself shows how he doesn't understand what love is. But at the same time, we do know that he himself doesn't know what love is, and he doesn't understand. So yeah, I'm pretty sure he'll understand little by little. But for now, he's like, yeah, it'll be fine. But anyways, that was the first part, and the next part we get to see Nazuna saying like, oh, I just want to do something else today, no more games, no more other stuff, maybe something else. And Ko says like, oh, maybe karaoke, maybe something else, arcade. And she's like, no, I don't, it's okay, but no, I want to do something else. And in the end, Ko's like, night pool maybe. And Nazuna's like, all right, let's go then. And they go to this flashy place where it's like all adults and everyone, and I'm like, damn, there's no one who checks for your ID card. You let a 14-year-old get into a place like this? Like, there's no security or something? What's happening here? But anyways, okay, so Ko is in the middle of this place. He's obviously, this is a situation which he doesn't like that much. This is an atmosphere that he doesn't appreciate, and she, he's not accustomed to so many people having this type of a thing. Now he's just sitting there and waiting for Nazuna to come in, and Nazuna's wearing the swimsuit, but on top of it's like a little dress, little shirt she's wearing. And Ko's like, wait, you didn't wear your swimsuit? And she's like, here it's inside, And she's like, okay, let me go and buy a drink, a beer. I can drink beer here as well. And he goes. And now obviously he can see that everyone's looking at Nazuna, that kind of hitting her up and all, and he is not feeling happy about this, obviously. Now Nazuna is there, and there's two random dudes who are just hitting hitting on her. And here Nazuna obviously at first Nazuna's like, I have someone with me, and then when she sees Ko just sitting there awkwardly and just kind of peeking at them, Nazuna thought, oh, let me pull a little prank, and she's like, maybe yes, maybe if you pay for my stuff and all that. And she was kind of just teasing Ko at this point. Now this is the part where I think she probably did not realize that this is not a simple teasing for Ko. For this, for this situation, this was a bigger type of situation for Ko, because there's a few things that is coming into play here. It's not the only thing about, it's not only jealousy, but at the same time, like I said, there's a bigger thing in play here. Ko is a type of person who is not accustomed to this world. He doesn't know how to get into this world. Nazuna is the only friend that he has. Seeing his only friend, in this world where he himself won't be able to reach, it's definitely a situation which he doesn't appreciate and he doesn't like. A fear gets into his heart that, oh, she's in a place where I will never be able to reach, and she's my only friend, not only friend, but one of my only friends. And that scares him. And obviously the normal jealousy is also there. So this is a bigger picture here, if you look at it like that. This is not only the teasing and that. This is a little bit more complicated situation. He did not like that. He did not like the fact that this is a place where I would never be able to go to, but Nazuna, she is able to go there. So if she's in this world, I will never be able to reach her. That type of a thing. When you have when you're a very shy person in your school or in your class, and you have only one friend, and your friend starts talking with that that friend's own friend group, where you won't be able to intrude on, and you just look at them having having a nice conversation, and you're just like, oh my god, he or she is my friend, but I cannot go intrude in that space because I'm not accustomed to talking to other people. He or she is the only one who I can talk to, and that person has their own life. You realize that they have their own friend circle. Maybe a day will come when that person will not hang out with me anymore. That person will be more going, will be, will hang out with his or her friends and will probably forget about me. And since I myself am not able to intrude in that space, I'll just keep sitting down and won't be able to do anything to let that type of a situation. I'm pretty sure that was the bigger picture here. It's not only jealousy. So there you go. Like, Nazuna did not realize that. Obviously, she just thought, I'm just teasing him, for a moment. But she realized that later on, at the beginning. And when obviously Ko sees that, Ko's like, you know what? He just goes and grabs her hand, and he's like, let's go. And I don't know why, but these two characters who were hitting on her, they have awfully young baby faces compared to what I expected. One of them looks like the same age as Ko. Another one also has like a very young face, but he does have like a little mustache and a beard. It's kind of weird looking at them. But they were pretty I wait a minute. I feel like I've seen one of these guys here. The guy on the left side. I feel like I've seen him before. Where have I seen him? His face looks awfully familiar. I don't know. Anyways, they're like they're pretty supportive. They're like, good luck, kid. Oh boy. Now here, they're walking, and Nasuna's like, I was just joking a little bit. Now still Nasuna doesn't understand what is going on, but when Ko stands and says the night pool is crowded, is not fun at all. Hearing what other people thought of you wasn't fun, and I'm tired of all the people. I don't like that. And when he says that, Nazuna realizes what she did and her mistake. She realized this is not only a thing of I'm just teasing him. This is a bigger picture here. This is the world that he still is not able to get into. And seeing me getting into this world so easily, he probably felt scared and a little bit frustrated. So that's why he didn't like it. And Nazuna realized that, and Nazuna was like, yeah, it was my mistake. I went a bit too far, I feel like. And she says all right, you want to swim? And at first Noko was like, nah, I don't want to. And she just grabs him and takes him to the school pool. Obviously the school pool will be empty today because it's the middle of the night. And and he's like, oh, okay, at the beginning he was screaming, but then he was when he went to the pool, he started laughing, having fun. And then in the end, Nazuna takes a bite and takes his blood in. And I like the way they did it. In the reflection, we just saw the two blood thing coming out, and that was it. There's no reflection. That was kind of cool way to denote how she bit him. But there you go. That was this episode. A really good episode. 2 sections. One is the whole section of the whole adult world, what you have to do when you become an adult, and how you cannot get out of that situation even if you want to. You have to just keep going even if you don't like it. But at the same time, like I said, if you have something equally fun in your life, and you will be able to look forward to that and keep going in this endless cycle of thing. So yeah, you should have try to find something fun for yourself so that you can just grit your teeth and keep going. Because like she said, this is an adult world. You cannot just leave if you want to. You have to keep going. So I feel like that's the only solution you have at this point. Have something fun which you can look forward to. And that was that. And we met a new character there, Shirakawa-san, I think, yeah. And in the end, the whole section with Ko, where he felt frustrated because he was not able to, he wouldn't be able to intrude into that world which Nazuna is able to. And Nazuna being one of his only friends, he didn't like it. So there you go. That was it. That was a good episode. Thanks for watching. This is my reaction to the Call of the Night episode number 6. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know, and I'll check them out. And that is it, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next week with another episode of Call of the Night. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.